Yo, all right, so check that out. You see that? That's Starbucks right there. I want to show you something, man. I want to take you guys on a walk, right? So if you see that building right there, that's called Fidelity, right? And then in Fidelity, they have a financial advisors are in there, right? You know, but here's the fun thing, man. So this whole parking lot right here is full of people, right? So you got Starbucks right here. Starbucks is full of people, right? So there's men and there's women that are in Starbucks, right? And then they call themselves employees, right? You know, so you have a dry cleaners right over here, right? And then this dry cleaners also has employees, right? You know, so you have a jewelry design right here, right? And then in the jewelry design, it also has what they call employees, right? So you got employees all over this place, right? Because you know what's happening right now is that the men and then the women, right, the people, they don't know who they are, right? You know, so because they don't know who they are, they're all going to be bound to have to pay what we call the tax man, right? You know, so we just had fun and we were hanging out in the webinar, right? You know, because my man David Jose just dropped some fire. You know, he was just showing the people what's up, man. You know, so it's like, yo, you know, I was driving down here and as I was driving down here, I was having conversations, right? Because, you know, it's like, here's my thing, man. You know, it's like, I've been trying to help out my friends. I've been trying to help out my family, you know, because I want them to help increase their wealth, right? You know, because I learned a lot, right, since the coronavirus popped off, right? You know, I learned a whole lot. I learned how the Constitution works. I learned how our government is designed, you know, which means I learned how to use the law, right? I learned how to write notices. I learned how to write affidavits, right? I learned how to challenge any lawyer or any attorney on the fundamental principles of what the laws are, right? You know, now because I have this skill, you know, I want to go out there and help out the people, man. See, look, you got a Charles Schwab right there, right? You know, so all of these entities out here, they're supposed to help the people like increase their wealth, right? You know, but then I'm asking those that are close to me, I'm like, yo, does your financial advisor ever tell you what income is? You know, have they ever showed you the definition of it, right? And then they're like, no, I never did that, right? And I'm like, okay, that's cool. You know, I was like, do you even know what income is? And they're like, no, I don't, right? You know, and I'm like, okay. You know, I was like, have you ever even checked out how the IRS was even formed? And they're like, no, I've never done that, right? And I'm like, man, this is just amazing, right? You know, so you have all of these people out here, right? You got tons of people out here that could be helped, right? You know, they could be helped, but then when you try to show them what's up, you know, they're just like, I don't think so, I'm okay, right? And I'm like, wow, man, it's just so much fun, right? You know, so check it out, right? Oh, look at that, you see that flag? Super cool. You got another flag right there, super cool, right? So I'm just rambling and talking right now because I'm having fun, man. You know, so here's the thing, man. You know, it's like, yo, you remember when we had that war in America? You know, so allegedly we had a war, right? You know, the American Revolution, right? And it was all about taxation without representation, right? You know, so allegedly there was a stamp tax, you know, that the British, you know, were putting on the American colonies. And then they were like, you better pay us some money, you American colonies. And then the patriots, that's what they called them back in the day, you know, the colonies, you know, those that were over here, allegedly, right? They were like, nah, man, we're not doing that, right? You know, you can't tax us, right? So from there, they started a whole war, right? You know, they started a whole war and then they wrote constitutions. And then within the constitutions, you have rights, right? You know, they're called your Declaration of Rights, right? And in your Declaration of Rights say what they can and can't do, right? It's super simple, right? You know, look at this, man. You know, you see that recessions and games like blah, 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 but look, you have these people right here, you know, who just go blah, blah, blah on the screen all day, right? You have a whole office right here, right? There's a whole office here of people who allegedly will show you how to increase your wealth, right? But if you ask them, yo, what's income, right? No one knows, right? If you ask them, yo, do you know that you don't even have to pay taxes? They were like, I don't even know what you're talking about, bro. You always got to pay the tax man, right? I'm like, yo, okay, so we got a lot of people out here that just lack knowledge, man. And then it's just so much fun because the game is like, yo, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you and I need to show you what's up, man. I need to show you what's up because I'm tired of the people getting hurt. I'm tired of the people getting harmed, right? I mean, look at all these cars right here, right? So you got a bunch of cars in this parking lot right here, and every last one of them has what you call a license on it, and then they all have licenses for them to drive, but they all believe, so every man and every woman that is in these cars, they all believe that they're driving in commercial traffic, right? You know, so they're like, I got my driver's license, and you're just like, yo, dude, you don't need that, right? And then they're like, what are you talking about? And it was just like, are you in commercial? Are you in commerce? Right? Are you a taxi driver? Are you a bus driver? You know, are you operating in that type of capacity? And then they have no clue as to what it is that we're even talking about, man. You know, it's just like, look, there's so much wealth in the world, right? It's just, you got to get the people to move from one jurisdiction to the other, which means you got to get the people to get knowledge, which means they got to be able to sit down, and then they got to be able to listen to you. Hey, Shadow, what's up? And then they got to be able to listen to you, man. You know, so it's just fun, man. So here's another example, right? You know, so you got businesses like this business right here, this business entity right here, right, you know, who's basically registered with the state, you know. So what they did was, so they like to help people get in shape, right? You know, so they want people to get in shape. So then they're like, yeah, come into a hard gym so we can get you in shape, right? But because they lack knowledge, they go and they register their entity. They go and register their entity with the state. And then the state says, well, if you want to work, if you want to do your thing, you better you pay some money so you can get a business license, right? And then they call all the people that are in there, they call them all employees. And then they say, well, you got to make sure that your employees are covered in this way and that way, right? And then all the business owners that are in there that started it because they all had a dream, right? They had a dream to, you know, be a business owner, right? And then they go and then they start the business, and then they're like, hey man, but then they're like, wow, why is it so expensive for me to run my business? I'm like, because you lack knowledge, man. You know, it's like, yo, why is the government coming down to shut you down, man? It's because you lack knowledge, man. Here's another one, right? You know, I'm just going through rambling right now, right? So you got Which, a superior sandwich, right? So they're a chain, right? You know, but if you look at it, right, you know, here's an example of the government, right? Of the government encroaching on the people's businesses, right? So you have this sign right here that says, oh, Department of Environmental Health, right? You know, so because the people lack knowledge, right, they go every time and they say, well, we got to go to the health department if we want to get our food spot opened up, right? And then they're just like, all right. So then they follow the process. They look at Small Business Association, and it tells them everything that they have to do, right? And then they do it, and then they just like, they're out of pocket. They're out of pocket a lot, right? And then they wonder why they can't increase their wealth, right? They wonder why you got things like this, right, where spaces are available, right? Businesses were closing down, right, because they can't afford to stay open, right, because the people that manage these businesses lack knowledge, right? You know, so now you got people that are operating businesses that lack knowledge, right? And then they get people in there, and then they call their people employees, and then the employees lack knowledge, right? And then everybody's just running around in a circle, man. It's just a big circle jerk, right? You know, so here we go, man. You know, I guess I'm getting ready to finish my circle walk, right? You know, because I'm just like, it's just fun, but it's sad to see, man, because I'm so tired of watching the people get harmed, right? I'm so tired of watching them get hurt, right? And then the only reason why they're getting hurt and they're getting harmed is because they lack knowledge, man. Is, you know, and all they have to do is take the time. So they have to sit down, and then they got to read, right? And then they got to learn how to associate with the right people, man. You know, because once you associate with the right people, you're going to be golden, man. You know, you're going to be golden, right? So then you won't have to really like depend on, like, you can use the Fidelity people, right? But then you can really increase your wealth in different ways and in different capacities, man, right? You can do so many wonderful things, right? You know, but it is what it is, man. I'm gonna just keep talking, I'm gonna just keep walking, and I'm gonna just keep trying to teach the people how to be free, man. You know, because it's time, bro. It's just time, man, because, you know, God's back, Christ is back, you know, got the Lord back, got the Holy Ghost, right? You know, I got my crew, I got my tribe, right? You know, now we're just gonna walk it out, and we're just gonna see what's up, man. You know, because we're tired of watching the people get harmed by lack of knowledge, man. You know, so lawyers, we're coming, man. We're gonna show you guys what's up, man. All right, that's it. I'll see you guys in the future. Remember, nobody's having more fun than us. Bye.